Okay, fantastic. So now that we have gotten all of the tests, the next step that we need to do is run them. But following our our unit test principles, we first need to make sure that all of the tests fail appropriately. Therefore, what I'm going to do is just reverse the logic of all the tests so that instead of asserting one condition, they assert a opposite condition. So here, instead of assert is true, I'm going to do assert dot is false. Here, I'm going to do assert dot is true instead of is false. And then here, same thing, just do is true instead of is false. And now we can run each of these tests. So I'm going to run this one. Here it came up. You can see the test failed. Message assert is false, failed. Element displayed did not find the element when it was supposed to. Great. Let's run this one. And you guys can always on your own take this text and paste it into Firefox to see how the HTML looks, and then play around with it to make sure you understand what happens. This test failed. Excellent. And then run this test, and this one should fail as well. And like I said, just copy and paste this into Firefox, see how the HTML looks, and then you'll understand that, well, you can see from here that this obviously doesn't have an ID equals like it does here. Therefore, it's not going to pass. So this test failed as well. Fantastic. So now that we've made them fail, let's just go ahead and make them pass, and we can rerun. So assert dot is true. Just reverse all the conditions. False. And we have two negative scenarios, one positive. Dot is false. And yes, guys, I know it's a lot of work to get these unit tests going and make sure, but I promise you that it's way better to have a stable test and know that it fails when it should, knows that it passes when it should, rather than being unsure, right? As soon as your team begins to think that your tests are unstable and they can't trust them, that's when things are going to start going downhill. Your manager is going to be like, oh man, this test automation doesn't really work. It doesn't do anything for me because all these tests do is fail invalidly and it doesn't give me the right results. Therefore, we should get rid of test automation. And what does that mean? They're going to get rid of your job and you're going to need to go find something else. So it's better that you have very stable tests that when they do pass or fail, you can say, boom, bug right there most of the time. It's really hard to get it to 100% of the time, but you can get it to most of the time. And these unit tests right here, they're going to help to make sure that whenever you make updates to your framework code, that you don't break anything. They're going to keep living here from now on, and all you have to do is continue adding to this suite to make sure that your code that you write is really stable. It's a lengthy practice, but it's very nice, and it's going to make your maintenance time so much easier. And that's where most people spend a lot of their time, is in maintenance and debugging of their code. And if you don't have to do that, if you have tests that automatically test your code, so sweet, so easy, I promise you. So anyways, you guys can see each one of my tests passed successfully, which is freaking amazing. I'm very happy. We could have also ran all of these tests automatically by going to the test explorer. And if we hit run all, this actually will run all of the unit tests that we have in our entire solution. So if you look at the Solution Explorer, it will run every single one of these guys that we have in our QTP tests, and then it will also run these as well, which is great. The only thing I didn't want to waste time with is running all of these tests right here, because these are BS tests that we went through to convey how to progress through the creation of a unit test and why each of the different logics were eliminated. So yeah, you could do that as well. Like I said, if you want to, you can give it a try. Just going to keep running. He's going to spend a few minutes running through every single one of your tests. And then at the end of that, it's going to show you all of your results, like what passed, what failed, and what did not run, and so on.